How's it going, everyone? This is your friend Tom Moore coming at you live from the Spyder Millie PM2 Para 3 Club. And today we're going to sharpen a couple Spidies. We got an Endura in Crew Air, this big guy. These are big knives. I guess it's not that bad. I haven't held an Endura for a bit. It's not as big as I remember, but they're pretty big knives. And my favorite small knife, K390 Dragonfly. I kind of dig the Warrenclyffe on this one. So we're going to throw some edges on these. This should be a pretty quick little video. I haven't sharpened live for quite some time now. It's been like probably a month. And the last thing I sharpened was one of these. It was a Rex 121 Sage. I sharpened the last time I sharpened on video. And after that, I think I was kind of like, that was different. It sharpened different than any other steel I've ever done. So I haven't sharpened mine yet. And I don't know. I will try, but for now it's good. It's factory sharp. The other one I handled wasn't sharp from the factory, but this one's plenty good. It cuts paper. So it's sharp. Doesn't need to be sharpened yet. I can't do much better than factory at all. So why fuck with it yet? With it's not fun steel. Oh, what up, Jonathan Jetton? Thank you for joining me, sir. We're going to do some quick Spidies. I haven't sharpened for a long time, so I figured it would be fun to get on here again. We're going to do this little K390 Warrenclyffe Doodad Dragonfly. This is what I do for this. This will be a cheap edge. I can't, obviously charge the full price of doing a PM2 for doing something like this. I think we're going to use... What stones should I use? Should I use my Hapstone stones or should I use my TS Prof stones? Let's use my TS Prof stones for fun. So I'm going to use TS Prof stones. These are the Alpha stones. They are resin bonded diamond. And I have them, the whole set of them. TS Prof hooked me up with them, so I'm going to give them a try. They cut quite quick, so since this doesn't need to be a shiny, fancy-looking edge, I think this will work just fine. Okay, so it's the Spyder. So the first thing I do, I'm using the Cadet today, not the KO3. It's just this little knife just kind of seems like it works better without this gigantic sharpener. So I'm going to set it to 17 degrees because it's a Spyder. So on the Cadet, you need to get it close to 17 degrees when you're moving it a lot. Re-zero it. And then dial in the last like half degree. Okay, that's 17 right there. Let's see if that removes Sharpie. And it is exactly 17 degrees. So as you can see, the Sharpie is gone. And it was that simple. So that means we're clamped probably correctly, but we're going to do both sides just to confirm that's the right angle. And it is... This one might be slightly higher, but it's pretty much getting rid of all the Sharpie. Can't tell there's a little bit on the leading edge still, but it's the right angle. So we're going to go 17. That's simple. Okay, so this, I want to make sure this works out well because it's a Warrenclyffe, but whenever you do heels, whenever you do a heel on any knife, Spyder are a little bit different because of the way they're ground right here. But whenever you do a heel on any knife, you want to like bump your stone up against the farthest point you want to or can sharpen to. So if I could sharpen way up here, I'd want to make sure the stone, I know where I'm going to stop it, how I'm going to stop it, if I need tape. Since it's a Spyderco, I don't need tape to protect anything up here. But one of the things to check is make sure your grind lines on Spydercos don't hit your stone. So this one works. It's almost parallel. You can see it there. But it's something to make sure is that grind line doesn't interfere with when you have to go to the furthest point of your sharpening on a heel. If you don't check that, sometimes you can fuck a knife up because if it's not well designed to be sharpened. We're going to do the heel on this one. This will be a quick, cheap sharpen. I haven't gotten behind because I don't have a lot of orders, but I kind of got lazy about sharpening. And if I don't sharpen, which means I don't create content, if I don't create content, I don't get more work. And if I don't get more work, I don't have anything to motivate me to get the work I've done. So this one's been sitting for a little bit. I want to get this guy out the door, though. Okay, so what's pretty common on Spyderco's weather ground is a little spot right here. You can see the little black dot right there. That's going to take some extra work to grind flat. That happens a lot, about, I don't know, 1/4 inch away from the heel. So we're just going to have some little extra time there, grinding away. To get that part of the edge incorporated with everything else at the same angle. As long as it's black, it's not getting sharp. I'll work the rest of the edge, make sure you don't put a divot in any one spot. I do Warncliffs. I do pulling off the tip strokes, kind of like this. You see. You don't want to roll it over though. You want to be careful with that. That's like keep a tip nice and pointy, is just like halfway across the stone and then back. So I started with the 180 stone, the TS Prof Alpha. I don't know if I should have started with the 120 stone. I'm still trying to learn these grits, but yeah, we got a burr. We got a nice burr. We just got that one spot to hit still. So we're good. We're going to flip it. This is enough grit to eat this tough steel. So yeah, it's been a minute since I've been sharpening. When you don't do it every day, and if you stop for like a week or something, it's kind of hard to get back in the groove. It takes a little bit of confidence. I get that like sharpening is still intimidating for me. Oh, I didn't check my stop bar. Okay. Sharpening is still like intimidating for me to sometimes pick up, especially like a nice piece, obviously. But like even this is Spyderco like this. This is someone else's knife. You got to pay attention. You got to be in the zone to sharpen. So if I'm not in the zone, I just don't sharpen. It's like if I'm feeling it, if I'm distracted in a bad way, like upset or something like that. Sometimes I use sharpening to help me get distracted, but like if I'm just not in the right mindset to sharpen, I can't do it. Because it can be a little stressful. Okay, same thing here. We got a little divot right there. We're going to flip though, see if we have a burr. We have a burr across the rest of the edge. So let's just work those little spots on both sides. So it's important on Spydercos like this that the grind line stays parallel, so when your stone hits it, it doesn't like leave a mark across it. You want to just bump into it like a bumper. Okay, let's see how that looks now. Okay, our little divot's gone, and use my fingernail. We have a burr, so we're good. We're gonna flip. That side's done with this stone. Now we're just gonna clean up the burr with this stone, and we have another little divot spot towards the heel we have to hit. Work the heel a little bit, shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I do love Sharpening Spydies. They're kind of my favorite. They're good steel, sharpens well. I almost enjoy getting the imperfections out of them. They have really good edges, but like obviously they're not perfect by like, you know, no knives are really perfect, but Spydies they're pretty good. Sometimes there's little issues with them, but they're always fixable, and they're kind of fun to fix. Like, I like taking the heels out of Spydies. Like every knife, every Spydies, or flat grind line gets the heel taken out of it. And that's kind of a fun process, like doing this part, making the edge just look nicer than it was. Okay, see if our spot's out of there. It looks like it basically is. We got a burr on the other side, so we're good. Now we're gonna switch stones. What up, Sam P? This is a K390 Warncliffe Dragonfly. Now we're going to switch to the 360 stone. This will be what we finish with. Let's do maybe 2 passes aside with this stone. Just real quick like that. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. You're really just trying to minimize the burr, give it a quick polish, but you don't need to work with these higher grit stones edges for that long. I think people really spend too much time on these higher grit stones. I think I spend too much time on them, but you really don't need a ton of time, especially if you're just trying to do a satin edge. They'll still look great, even done quickly. Right now, all I'm trying to do is remove this little burr. Okay, let's do one more flip. So K390, it's a super steel or whatever, it's tool steel. It's got a big reputation of being very good edge retention, but as you can see here with good stones, it's really not that hard to sharpen. We're done now. Let's do one more flip. Just hit this burr real quick. Make sure it's not there. Okay. This is a user knife for sure. So now let's give it a quick strop. 6 micron gunny juice. Gonna wipe a dirty one, dirty chamois cloth. Wipe all the sharpening powder off of it. Just turn on this side. Find my angle. Give it a quick strop down the edge, trying to remove any burr that's left. We're not trying to put a mirror on it. That's not the point of stropping. The point of stropping is to remove any straggling bits of metal that aren't straightened out yet. Okay, now let's give it a sharpening test. Like a laser beam. Coolio. Sam, I am using TS Prof Diamond Alpha Resin Bonded Stones. I'm not using my CBNs today. Those are my half stones. Okay, next up. Same idea, just a lot more blade. Okay, so this knife we're going to line up by using the flat grind line. Let's use these stones again. So we're going to line this up the flat grind line right here, parallel with the stone, basically. Right about there's good. Since this knife is DLC'd, though, we need to do one more extra step if I can find it. We need to tape off the DLC heel. Where my scissors go? There they are. So we're going to tape off the DLC at the heel, just so I don't scratch it with the stone if I go too hard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just get in that heel and start rubbing on it, and it'll rub all the black shit off. Satin knife, like we just did, it doesn't matter because you can't see it. This one's got a coating, so if you rub on the coating, it'll rub off if your grit touches it. Okay, we're probably at close to 17 degrees already because we just were. We are at 17 degrees, which makes sense because it's about the same size knife. Let's check the Sharpeator. Okay, I always start on my presentation side. David V asked, what stones do I recommend? I recommend these stones I'm using now, which are TS Prof Alphas. They're good. I haven't used them for a super long time. They're really good stones, but they're expensive. Also expensive that I recommend, that I have been using for about, I've been using these for a long time now, actually. It might be coming up on 2 years I've been using these stones. And I've done hundreds of knives with these stones, so these ones I can recommend wholeheartedly. They're fantastic. These are Hapstone Premium CBNs. But I am trying out these TS Prof Diamond Alphas, and they work really well as well. I just don't know how they're going to hold up since I haven't put hundreds of knives through them yet. But they do cut well. Okay, check my stop collar. Forgot to do that last time. Luckily, it was in the right spot. Can't ride up on the blade face. Check the angle of the dangle. It looks like we're just hitting the leading edge. We're not clearing the marker. So there's one thing that can happen. And we're going to resituate it in the jaws because it's not sitting flat. Trying to figure out where it's sharpening. It's not taking off any of the Sharpie very well. That's leading edge too. So I can't tell, but it looks like this may have been sharpened before at a lower angle. So we're going to just kind of mess with the height. I'm interested in the TS Prof. Well, those are the ones we're using, so you're going to get to see how they cut some crew right here in a second. Half Stone is also having a sale though, so just FYI. So they're both having a sale. I think Half Stones is like 25% off. It's pretty good. So we lowered the angle a little bit. Now we're just going to scrub on the edge. Don't like going much lower than this, but that's the angle that's already been sharpened to, so we're just going to find it. And we're not far off. Part of the edge is that. Looks like it's not fully consistent throughout the edge, what angle it's at. Let's see where we are. I think we're just going to set it to a number. I think we're going to set it to 16 degrees because that's about where it is right now. Alrighty. I'll do one more quick pass with the Sharpie just to see how far off we're going to be, but we're going to be doing a little bit of reprofiling, it looks like, because I want to bring this angle to about 16, and it kind of varies throughout the length. 16 is pretty good, actually. 16 is not far off. Okay. So VLC, heels, and the first time you push up against it, you just got to make sure the tape curls down like that, so you can bump it and get all the way to the heel to do the heel, like that. So we got a edge that kind of varies front to back about what angle it's at. But we're working it back into shape pretty well, pretty quickly. Tip looks good. We'll just call that good. There's no reason to fuck around on tips when they're already good more than you need to. I mean, more than minimal. If you have a nice pointy tip, just leave it alone. It's easy to make them not pointy. Honestly, if you're sharpening right up to it, you're fine. We got a little bit of profiling to do with the heel. We got quite a bit of marker left to pull out. So these are the TS Prof Diamond Alphas. They're got a pretty big part to work out here. The rest of the edge looks pretty much done and profiled. We got that divot right here again. You can see it. You can see where the Sharpie isn't gone. When it dips down. So we're just trying to work that out, and being with the tape here makes it a little more difficult to make sure it's bumped all the way up to the end anyway. We're just trying to take the heel off and just divot out. You know what? We're going to try this. This is the 180 stone. We're going to switch up to the 120 stone. Let's see if it does a little bit better job eating away at this spot. Then we'll switch back to the 180 once we get this done. It's coming out now. It's working its way up the edge towards the top of the bevel. Okay, so now we got a 120 grit edge, so we're going to be, we got a nice burr throughout the whole edge. So that was easy enough to get to where we need to be. Now we just got to work out these imperfections, and on that side, we have a little bit left to do. You definitely feel the burr. It's quite obvious feeling. Now we're just trying to make this look nice and even. I think we got the whole bevel already, though. Yeah, we got a burr. We flipped the burr back over already. So this part of the edge is all good. Well, this 120 made quick work of it, for sure. Just want to overdo it. But this one's heel's looking a little bit easier on this side. Okay, so that 120 is kind of kicking ass. We got hella burr all the way through the edge. And it's really just visual now because it's on the top of the bevel that we have to work out. The front of the edge is still getting sharpened. So right now we're just trying to superficially flatten that part of the edge. Oh wow, this is a very big burr. You can see it very clearly. So we're just trying to work on this, make it all look nice and straight, which it now does. Do a couple of quick passes. We have a very visible burr the whole length of the edge. So let's give it a quick scrub. And we're looking golden. So now we're going to switch back to the 180 that we started with. Just give this real quick one pass aside. Quick pass. That 180 and 120 actually cut quite a bit differently. That 120 ate this thing up. So now the 180 is actually smoothing it out quite a bit. Let's do one more quick pass just to knock the burr down a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to jump to the 360 stone. And just give it a couple quick passes, and then we'll be good. Heel's all worked out. Edge is all nice and even now, all the same angle. Tip looks nice and pointy. Quick couple passes with the 360, just kind of trying to knock any burr down and make it look a little bit more satiny, a little less rough. But we're not trying to mirror it, so if there's a little bit of scratches here and there, it's totally fine because this looks like the edge is supposed to look. Okay, make sure it looks nice and clean, which it does. Last pass. Okay, we're going to call that good. Quick pass on the strop. I'll clean off mine. Stropping is important, even if you're not trying to shine up your edge. Some steels won't even get sharp unless I strop them after I sharpened. Okay, and we're going to take a piece of paper, see how this cuts first real quick. Flip across the full edge. We're golden. It's a laser beam. Now we're going to take a little bottle of oil I got over Sure. A little piece of magic eraser. And I don't like to return knives dirty, so we're going to clean up this coating. Some magic eraser and some oil. I like to return stuff, making it look like it's a brand new knife. Or at least better than it was. Okay, all clean. Take a chamois cloth. So that was a $24 edge on this one. And I'll probably do the Dragonfly for $19 since it wasn't quite as long. But yeah, there we go. It's been a minute. Thank you for joining me. Man, this thing is sharp as shit. Very sharp. Anyway, join me, Tom Moore. I am at Thomas O. Moore on Instagram. And check me out over in the Spyderco Millie PM2 Pair 3 Facebook group, the best knife community on the interwebs. Anyway, that was fun. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.